Well, I'm going to set the tone of this interview by telling a little story, both to you and to William. It's going to be a very brief little story, but it's going to set the stage for everything we discuss throughout the coming hour. Back some years ago, when I was still living in upstate New York, I woke up in the middle of the night without a body. I was simply a consciousness on the bed with no person. And I was upset, of course, because my body was gone. And I naturally thought, well, I really had it. And I moved, and when I moved, I went down through the ceiling into my son's bedroom below, where my body stood beside the bed of a friend of his, a little boy who was visiting for the weekend. And someone using my body was speaking to this child. I then entered my body, and both boys were wide awake, and I said, well, good night, and went back upstairs, because I really had no idea what else to do. The next day, I took the boy home, and with the plan of meeting his father on a road nearby, where we would exchange children, because their country house and the little diner where we would exchange children was midway between the two houses. As we approached the exit off of the main highway, I saw his father's truck in the parking lot of the diner across the road. I took the exit, which meant that we had to cross the highway. It was a divided highway, and as soon as we took the exit, we were in another world. This was a world of a completely different weather. It was wide, quiet streets, lushly overgrown with large trees. It was a blue sky day where it had been gray in where we were, and the houses were set back, well back from the roads, and they were square without roofs, and they had reliefs of serpents on them and little arched doorways in them. And there was nobody about in the neighborhood. Both I and the boy were terrified, frankly, at what had happened, and very confused. And I got us out of there, and got us back to the. I don't know how I got us out of there. I got us back to the father. We were then about 20 minutes late. He was very concerned about it. He'd seen us leave the exit and never come back across the highway. The boy, who had said nothing to me in the car about this beyond trying to get out of the car a number of times, then ran to his father, yelling, "Daddy, Daddy." Whitley took me on a ride through the Twilight Zone. The night before, or that morning before, the boys had come running out of their bedroom yelling that they had seen me during the night come down through the ceiling. But they had not been clear about what we had talked about at all. Now, William, this relates, as you know, to a great deal of material in the Illuminator. I refer to the Kingdom of Light and this journey on the bark of Ra. You say in the book, it's a fact that virtually all the great gods of myth sail in a ship, and then you speak of a celestial vehicle, and you begin to speak of black holes, and the remarkable coincidence is, or it is indeed a coincidence, of the different shape, the shape of the bark of Ra, and the shape of this model on page 77 of your book, of a black hole and a white hole and movement between them. You then refer to the work of NASA's Advanced Propulsion Physics Workshop, members of which I know quite well. So let's now take off, William, in the bark of Ra. Okay?
Yeah, that's what an incredible story, and just glad you're back, Whitley.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, well, at the time I was horrified because I thought, my God, I'm lost in the Twilight Zone with a child belonging to someone else. If they never see us again, it was horrifying, frankly.
Absolutely riveting story, absolutely. But yeah, as this relates to the Kingdom of Light and the ship of the gods, it appears that they have this ability to toggle between the worlds, and this seems to be the experience that you had. But in addition to this toggling between the worlds, these stargates or wormholes that appear to be described in the Egyptian Book of the Dead, which is the source of the illustration that I use in the Illuminator. What we see is Ra on this ship. It has a mouth of this ship. It has the body, and then it has a second mouth that almost precisely matches the shape that modern science uses to portray a time travel machine, a stargate or a wormhole. And in fact,
you seem to not differentiate between a stargate, which would presumably move us instantaneously from one star system to another or one planet to another, and a time machine. Can you define exactly your terms here?
Well, yeah, I mean, when you talk with different advanced physicists, people working in this hyperdimensional physics area, they often will interchange the term stargate and wormhole. I mean, we do seem to think of more from the model proposed by, for example, Carl Sagan in the movie Contact, where he presents this device that literally enables instantaneous travel, in the example of the movie Contact, to the center of a galaxy. And it is a form of time travel because of the vast distances that you're able to travel, that you could go theoretically to the center of the galaxy and back almost as if no time had passed at all. And that would enable one to effectively time travel, basically, is what we're talking about.
Now, 2 weeks ago, we were talking, we ended our conversation with beginning into a discussion about the ancient gods and the servants of the gods and what they were doing and what purity meant, because as we concluded, we talked about how it was necessary to be pure in order to serve the gods their food. They required this. What, William, exactly is this purity? Because this purity is the key to everything.
It really is. In the statement that I included in the book, in the section on the Kingdom of Light, that statement from the Pistis Sophia, when Mary Magdalene asks Jesus a question, and in response to that question, he says, and I'm quoting him now, he says, "Do not cease seeking day or night, and do not let yourselves relax until you have found all the mysteries of the Kingdom of Light, which will purify you and make you into pure light and lead you into the Kingdom of Light." Now, I mean, this is an amazing, amazing statement that should be the centerpiece of certainly mainstream Christianity, although it's not. It is the centerpiece, in my view, of esoteric Christianity, and it suggests to me that this is a mission statement for Earth on life, or life on Earth, rather, coming directly from Jesus himself. And this is a statement that is presented to Mary Magdalene from Jesus in his resurrected form. So what we're asked to believe here is that he has effected this transformation into a being of pure light, and he is now dwelling in the Kingdom of Light. And what that means to me is that he has effected that transmutation from the present cocoon state of the human body into this space-time light vehicle that's often referred to as the Merkaba or the Merkaba, a vehicle of light that enables us to literally travel the stars.
Which is liable to become very important to us folks. And I think that what happened to me and that little boy together, whatever powers that be knowing, I never would have believed it if it had happened to me alone. I would have attributed it to something else. They were made sure that couldn't occur because I had a witness. I mean, I went between into a parallel universe in an old Jeep Cherokee with a kid in it. You can't get more down to earth and sort of out there at the same time than that. And well, yeah, there was one thing. It was, we were next to the Paramus Mall in Jersey and on Route 17, another very prosaic place. It certainly did not look like any kind of a wormhole I've ever seen.
Right.
Yeah. However, interestingly enough, one person, when I wrote this in one of my books, I believe in Breakthrough, a fellow wrote saying he'd worked on construction of the Paramus Mall, and they had seen these balls of light coming up out of the ground there during the construction of it. Now, here is the issue, William. Things are hotting up here on Earth. We are well past the hurricane